It's Friday night in the A, and you know what that means. Kelly Price and Tori McElhaney coming at you on Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T.
Atlanta, I know you guys are feeling good because the Falcons last started a season 2-0 back in 2017. That second 2017 win also over the Packers. Now the Falcons go on the road to Detroit, which also happened in 2017. So I guess it's time to party like it's 2017.
Yes, 2017, the year Taylor Swift released her Reputation album. A time I remember fondly.
And with a win on Sunday, they'll be 3-0 for the first time, or the seventh time rather, in franchise history. Time to huddle up about it, y'all.
Let's huddle up with Kelly and Tori on the world of Falcons football.
The word we kept hearing from various Falcons after their win against Green Bay was confidence. Whether it was Arthur Smith saying he had confidence in Bijan Robinson on that gutsy, risky fourth down play, or the confidence you saw growing in Desmond Ridder throughout the course of the game. And as the Falcons sit here as one of just 9 teams still undefeated on the young season, where do you think that confidence is coming from, Tori?
Yeah, so I don't necessarily think this is a newfound confidence. I think this is something that has been brewing within this team all offseason. I remember talking to Calais Campbell about his decision to join the Falcons back in the early days of the offseason. And he said then that it was the pieces of this defense, the weapons of this offense, and the mentality of this coaching staff that gave him confidence to come to Atlanta. Perhaps that's a confidence that's been there all along for a lot of these guys.
That's a good point. And that confidence has really shown in both of the fourth quarters we've seen from the Falcons so far. On Sunday, they entered the fourth down 24-12. They ended up eliminating a double-digit fourth quarter deficit to win for the first time since week 2 in 2015. Take that, everyone who still has 28-3 jokes. Atlanta has outscored opponents 27-0 this season in the fourth quarter, which is good, obviously. But Tori, is it bad that they've had to do that twice already?
So I don't necessarily think so. Look, would the Falcons love to be ahead significantly going into the fourth quarter? Sure, but as Falcons fans know, leads aren't all they're cracked up to be all the time. And this is the NFL. There actually aren't too many games that are blowouts week in and week out. More often than not, you're looking at a 1 to 2 score game. If the Falcons were losing these games by more than 7 points, I would be concerned, but they're winning, they're fighting, and I'm actually okay with that.
And this is going to be a matchup between 2 teams who are going to be fighting, 2 physical teams led by 2 classic football guys in Arthur Smith and Dan Campbell. The Lions are 1-1 right now, but this 2023 is not your father's Lions, right? Detroit was 3-13 just the season before last, Campbell's first year at the helm. It seems like the Falcons could be on a similar trajectory now. How close are the Falcons to being that resurgent team like we now are seeing in the Lions?
Yeah, I think pretty dang close. It's pretty impressive to actually see the parallels between these 2 organizations. Arthur Smith was hired in Atlanta on January 15, 2021. Dan Campbell in Detroit 5 days later. Last season, both teams surprised a lot of people. Atlanta just staying competitive enough despite their salary cap constraints, and Detroit having their first winning record since 2017. And let's not even talk about the off season. Well, the Falcons got Bijan Robinson in the first round of the draft. Detroit got Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, the key difference, though, is at quarterback. The Lions went and got veteran Jared Goff. The Falcons are testing out Desmond Ridder. But that's where the paths diverge.
That's a good point. Undefeated on the 2023 season and undefeated in the fashion department. We are walking in, presented by Wells Fargo. Got to start with the undisputed champ, Grady Jarrett, giving us one last taste of summer with this bright yellow silk matching set, a subtle paisley pattern, elevating this look just a smidge higher. I mean, look at his face. He knows this fit is a slay. GQ, get in touch with our man, Grady.
Grady Jarrett really gave Kelly and I a fit that features all of our favorite things. The yellow, the matching set, the silk. Well done, sir.
It's just an excellent effort. Next up, Richie Grant, serving comfort and style all in one look, adorned with an MBS Atlanta skyline. This is one of the newest additions to the Falcons Sundays collection, and as someone who has been wearing this exact hoodie around the house myself, it is one of the softest things I have ever touched. Richie keeps it simple with some cargo pants, black and white kicks, and I love it.
It's so funny because walking into the locker room and seeing just how many of these guys have this sweatshirt, it's honestly hilarious. Seriously, this sweatshirt is everywhere. They all have it.
And if you want to cop this look, shop the Sundays collection online or in person at the Atlanta Falcons team store. Finally, the Rook making his debut on Walkin' In, Zach Harrison, with a baseball-style black and white Falcons jersey with his number 96 on it. If I recall, Drake London wore one of these last year, right? It's easy, it's effortless, but it looks great.
I love the blending of the baseball style with the football kid, and Zach Harrison knows postseason baseball is right around the corner, too.
He is prepared. With the first away game of the year upon us, we are talking road trip essentials in our question of the week.
Always get just a pack of Swedish fish. That's all I need.
Nerd clusters.
Nerd clusters.
Big fan of nerd clusters. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Usually chewing gum. I like to be chewing on something. Helps me focus when I'm driving.
That's
no
it.
Headphones, no iPhone.
I mean, yeah, like the classic. Yeah, get your headphones and whatnot. But get my Swedish fish before on the plane. All good.
I need my do-rag. Gotta keep my waves fresh, man. I gotta keep that laid down.
You gotta have a good playlist. You know, whoever's DJing, you know, they gotta step their game up. They come, they can get booted from the DJ booth real quick.
Gotta have my chapstick. I gotta have my second phone because my daughter needs it because she's gonna cry the whole trip.
These days, something to entertain my son so he's not screaming the whole time.
I need my headphones, gotta download some movies, and I'm all set.
Don't sleep on the chapstick. That is a major key for a road trip, especially going north to Detroit. All right, still to come on Rise Up tonight. Super stoked to have Allison Smith in studio with us. You do not want to miss the First Lady of Falcons football later on in the show.
So excited. Plus, the Falcons teamed up with the At Promise Boys and Girls Club to get their hands dirty as they created together. That story is coming up next on Rise Up Tonight.
Rise Up Tonight is presented by AT&T and brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. And Truist, when you start with care, you get a different kind of bang. It's time to Rise Up Atlanta. Kelly and Tori are back on your home for Falcons football. Fox 5 Atlanta.
This week, the Falcons have visited the At Promise Boys and Girls Club to brush up on some science skills and get creative with some kids in the community. Our Georgia Chambers has that story as we rise up for Atlanta, brought to you by Truist.
It's a blessing.
For Cameron Wilson and his friends at the Boys and Girls Club, it meant a lot to be able to hang out with some Falcons players this past Tuesday.
All my friends are here, all my favorite staff is here, so it's just cool to have them here with me.
Not only did they have a chance to hang out with the players, they also got to learn more about STEM too. Kids and players alike built rockets to launch, bridges to test how much weight they could hold, and so much more. For Falcons center Drew Dahlman, he got to brush up on what he learned back in school.
I have a passion for STEM myself. That's what I did in college and loved through high school. So really happy to kind of pass that to those kids and show them in a fun way that like this avenue of school can be really entertaining.
Steam Truck is a mobile innovation lab that travels around the Atlanta area, engaging kids in various activities, all to teach them more about science. Falcon safety Richie Grant wants these kids to know there isn't a dream out there too big.
Growing up as a kid, I felt like the impact that older people had on me, it helps get me to where I am today. And really just passing that down, trying to just, at all costs, trying to pass down some wisdom, just encouragement so they can grow up to be whatever they want to be.
And for Michaela Taylor, she now sees that the stage the Falcons stand on is not so intimidating.
Even though people are higher above you, it doesn't mean that you can never grow to be like them. Always try to I think it's more encouraging. Maybe one day we could be as big as them.
That's awesome to see. So, Tori, in your notebook this week on AtlantaFalcons.com, you wrote about how the Falcons took demoralizing moments and in turn demanded better for themselves. Explain what you mean by that.
Well, I really think about it. There were a few moments on Sunday that you could have deemed demoralizing. Just off the top of my head, think not punching it in from the 1 yard line early, or Mac Hollins' touchdown catch that actually wasn't ruled a touchdown catch, but we won't go into that, don't worry. But if the Falcons would have let them, those moments could have derailed the entire game. But they didn't, because the Falcons demanded different. Desmond Ridder demanded points on that 6-yard touchdown run. Mac Hollins demanded redemption with that 45-yard catch. And Arthur Smith and Bijan Robinson demanded respect when on that 4th and inches play call.
Yeah, and I think they got it. The Falcons are 2-1, and so are Tori and I after some prolific prognostications last Friday night. This week's hot takes are still to come.
And don't go anywhere, because Allison Smith joins us in the nest next to talk about everything from her husband's infamous mustache to making Atlanta their family's home.
It's almost game time, Falcons fans. When the Falcons sack the opposing QB at home, you'll score a BOGO free Big Zack snack meal the day after the game. Valid online only at Atlanta area stores. Welcome back to Rise Up Tonight. Let's head in the nest with Kelly, Tori, and this week's special guest, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.
All right, really excited about this In the Nest guest this week. We have Allison Smith, wife of Arthur Smith, everyone's favorite head coach, with us today. I'm so excited to have you here. A lot of people probably don't know this, but you come from a local TV news background. And she and I worked at the same station a couple years apart in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which is just the craziest kind of small world connection. You were there during like the Brett Favre retirement kind of era.
Yeah, 2 weeks after I got there, and I really didn't even know anything about the NFL at this point. Brett Favre retired, and it was like the president had been shot. I mean, it was wall-to-wall coverage.
I believe it.
And I remember, like, I was the morning anchor, and they were feeding stuff in my ear, and I was like, I think I'd called Deanna, or his wife, his daughter, and I was like, and of course everybody there knows everything about it.
Right.
How can you not know this? And I'm like, I mean, of course I was saying y'all, and they were like, stop saying y'all, and because I'm from Memphis, and like it was funny. But yes, I mean it's Packers and snow, but it's a happy place to live.
Both lead the show, snow and Packers.
But yeah, that was like my first foray into NFL life. Like just like whoa, people are obsessed.
Thinking back to that, did you ever think that you were going to be married to an NFL coach or be connected to the NFL?
Definitely not. No. This was all, especially because in Memphis, it was kind of a sore subject because we wanted an NFL team.
Right, yeah.
And, everybody in Memphis fought to get that NFL team, and we had it for like in our Liberty Bowl stadium for one season, and it was so sad. And then they went to Nashville, like everything else has. And no. So it's like, I don't even remember, like, we weren't an NFL family, like we were really into basketball, and like my brother played soccer and tennis and that kind of stuff, but no football. But now I'm all in, like obsessed.
We know how intense Arthur can get on the sideline, but what are you like when in a game day scenario?
I mean, you don't want to see it. It's intense.
That's what I said.
And I can't even imagine being a mother of a player, just a wife of a coach. It's so intense, and I've been this way since he was quality control. Like it's been like, and I've always had friends that go with me, and they're like, don't talk to Allison, especially when he was just offensive coordinator. It's like if the offensive is on the field, do not talk to her. Because and then you'll have people who have no idea what's going on, and they're like, why isn't she chatting with me? And I'm like, you don't understand, But I am so intense, hang on every play, and I enjoy it, but it's also just like nail biting, stress, gotta have a cocktail, take the edge off. But it's fun, it's really fun.
For you, as you kind of were looking back over his career and your kind of journey along with him, what are kind of some of the moments that you look back on that you are really proud of?
I mean, I'm proud of him for sticking with 4 head coaches. It's such a testament to how hard he works and how he doesn't get involved with office politics, and he's always loyal to who his boss is at the time. And when he switched from one coach to another, that never changed, that never wavered. He maintained really good relationships with everybody, like from the past and and the current staff. I thought when we got married we were going to move around a lot and live in different places, and then we just kept staying in Nashville, which was great because it was 3 hours from home.
Right.
But it was like being with 4 different staff, so I'd meet so many different wives, and they would be like, this is our 10th move in 10 years. Like, and I'm like, oh my God, I think it would just make me realize how good I had it. So we're so lucky and blessed that it ended up like this, and it doesn't for everyone. So very proud that we made it here.
How have you seen him grow through all those years, but then he had a couple stops obviously before that as well. How have you seen him grow as a coach to, the guy that all these Falcons fans know about now?
I think he's been a sponge along the way, just soaking it up from all that. He's had amazing leaders. He gathered what he loved about each one of his head coaches, and I think he learned sometimes what he doesn't want to do, what he does want to do, and it's been, it's just really, he's grown throughout it, and he doesn't waver. He says he's going to do something. He takes no shortcuts.
So I want to talk about Arthur Smith and his press conferences because
we have so many questions.
Oh yes,
we have quite a few questions here. Yeah. But personally, I just appreciate. I don't know if it's because I know your background, but I feel like he appreciates what we do in a little bit of a different way than other kind of coaches in sports that I've covered. He answers everything. He's even waited for me to literally set up a camera before. Like, I appreciate that about him. Yeah.
Is that you? Like, is that you behind it?
I hope so. I hope I've rubbed off on him a little bit. But it's funny watching him progress from like when he was a position coach and did his first news conference to coordinator, you know, and I used to be able to give him like tips like enunciate, slow down. He thinks so fast, which is great for his job. Right. But I'm like, dude, we can't keep up. Like, I am a smart person and I don't, like, you're already here and we're back here, but you know, so
you gotta get us here.
Yeah, slow down. Like, and I'll still be like, give him a sound bite, you know, and he's like, I had to give him the full answer, you know? I'm like, you were just filibustering, you know, whatever. But he actually enjoys it, and he's not like Belichick or Popovich who he worships, but he's not annoyed with the media at all.
I've been here since Terry and Arthur got here, and I still, to this day, I'm like, I'm not entirely sure if he's joking with me or not. Like, I'm not entirely, and then he'll kind of do like a small smile. I'm like, okay, there it is. He was kidding.
We've been married for 12 years, and sometimes I'm still not sure, like, and I'm like, wait, am I supposed to be mad at you for saying that, or are you kidding? You know, like, it's not just behind the podium.
Yeah. Something that has taken the internet and the football world by storm, I feel like, is his mustache.
The stash.
I need all of your thoughts on the mustache.
Do we like it?
Do we like it? Question number one.
If I hated it, it'd be gone.
Okay.
I mean, I don't get a lot of say, but that I would get say over. Like, he would be like, do you want to kiss me? You know? And I'd be like, no, that's gross. You know, but so I like it. I enjoy it. Nielsen's is very aggressive as well. I'm very impressed with his mustache. And Arthur's, it's a good look. The beard wasn't the best for him just because he's got some gray. I don't know if I've noticed some gray in some areas. So I feel like the mustache is solid. I like it.
Yeah. It's big football guy look.
Yeah, it's a big football guy look.
Yeah, for you specifically, why are you excited about kind of the potential of what 2023 could hold?
I mean, we got money. We used it, you know? I mean, I think that's no secret. Like, this is, and I think that, not to take away from all the players that have been here and worked their tails off. Absolutely. They've done amazing.
Absolutely.
But football's a business, and it takes money to get the guys to compete in this league, you know, and I think we've got some good ones. I mean, I honestly, I was like, I know nothing, and I like it that way because, you know, I'm not to be trusted, but they look good. The buzz seems good, you know? I'm like, there's no excuses, you know? I mean, I'm excited just to get it going.
But thanks so much for joining us.
For having
we really
me.
appreciate you having the time to come in here and talk to us. It's fun insight on Arthur Smith, and anyone wants to catch the full conversation, head to fox5atlanta.com. The full thing will be posted on there, and we'll be right back on Rise Up Tonight.
Hey Atlanta, this is Head Crack talking, and you watching Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T.
It's like I don't get caught up in whatever narrative is after 4 weeks of the daily narratives. You can almost write some of these narratives and live and die every week by the narratives. I don't use that lingo. That's the sensational line. It's like the scene with the dudes chasing the guy down from Happy Gilmore, running to give away our scheme. What the hell is going on? Now you're really trying to put me on the hot seat here. Some narratives.
Arthur Smith can continue what he wants to say about all these surface narratives. But over here in this house, Tori and I are 2-0 on our last hot take segment. I predicted the Falcons would get another dub in the Red Helmets. Tori wildly predicted that Drake London would get the first touch of the game, which happened. Well done, my friend.
Arthur Smith whisperer over here.
Or maybe he's just getting ideas from our show. We'll
there
never know.
Yeah.
So we talked about this at the top of the show. This Falcons team is 27-0 in fourth quarters so far this season. That's tops in the NFL. My hot take is that this trend continues on Sunday in Detroit. Detroit has scored 14 points overall in their final quarters this season, but they've also allowed 14 in the same period. I like those odds for these Dirty Birds, who outgained the Packers 166-11 in the fourth quarter on Sunday and limited Jordan Love to 0 of 6 passing.
Yeah, so for my hot take, I'm going to stick with the theme of the passing game predictions. You know, don't mess up a good thing. So my hot take is that even though both teams really want to run the heck out of the ball, I actually think the Falcons will see success through the air. They were significantly more balanced as an offense against the Packers, and with C.J. Gardner-Johnson out for the year with a torn pec and Emmanuel Mosley's status up in the air, I think there could really be some key mismatches the Falcons could exploit.
That's a really good point. It'll be fun to watch that on Sunday. Well, thanks for staying up late with us here on Friday night. For Tori McElhaney, I'm Kelly Price. Good night. We'll see you this time next week.